the 97% of your audience that is loving what you're doing but can't afford the 100K deals. In Josh's land, bottom of funnel is, I'm going to do X amount of workshops every year. We took that, we packaged it, we wrote a bunch of emails, and then for 1 hour of your time, we made 5 figures. Your best asset is you on a 1 hour call. How do we monetize that 1 hour where you can give away physical game plans, designs, all that cool stuff? And the idea I had is over time, instead of using your physical time, we can create AI-powered game plans that are clones of Josh.
Hi, welcome to this episode of Josh Lowman Needs Money. Today, I have my friend Jacob Peggs on the show with me. Jacob has been transformational to my business in the few short weeks that I have known him. And usually on this show, I bring in somebody who's starting from scratch, advising me with my business. But today is a little bit different because we've been working together for the last couple months, trying to figure out what I call digital products or training products. And in order to figure that out, I had to bring in the master. So Jacob, I want to welcome you to the show and just say hello here.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure looking at your business from the inside out, from the outside in, and seeing, everything that you've built now sort of compartmentalize itself into these little assets and things we're going to be talking about. So thank you for having me.
Yeah, good. And where are you in the world?
So I'm based in Cyprus, which is a tiny island near Greece.
Mm-hmm.
We are Greek speaking, so on the other side of the world compared to where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Very Mediterranean,
And how did you learn this? How come you speak English so well?
So my dad is Cypriot, but my mom is Bulgarian, and we went to private American schools here for our entire lives. So all of our friends, there's like these sort of hybrid, foreign Cypriots, and we have our own little community here.
I see.
And that's how I picked it up.
Okay, so how would you describe what it is that you do? If you think about all the different ways that I'm trying to make money, like cold email and paid ads and doing posts on LinkedIn, like how do you fit into the equation? What do you do?
Yeah. So when I look at you and your business, the first thing that comes to mind, like where my green light is as soon as we met and we started talking, was architecting a low ticket to high ticket funnel. I know funnel sounds like a daunting word, but essentially all it is taking assets from your business that you already have, using the knowledge from the writing that you already write, and just pointing it to assets that make money while you don't physically have to be there. And then creating retainer models to serve people by fractionalizing your time in a specific model, which I think we'll visualize as we speak through some of these models today.
Okay. And I want to clarify this for the listeners. Typically what I do is sell agency services. It might be a 1-month project, a 2-month project, 3-month project, but it's sort of, I don't know if you would call it high end, but it's kind of like high end consulting for startups and high flying tech companies, right? Mm-hmm. And that might be an $80,000 project or a $150,000 project or whatever it is. And what you do is very different than that. You advise me on how to sell actual digital products that I can make money off of. Yeah. And then once you get into that world of products, there's a whole interesting world of like how best to do it.
Yeah. For me, the thing you actually taught me through this work is like selling while actually feeling like yourself is a superpower, because a lot of people, like especially at the bottom of the funnel, get like they either cringe out or they feel limiting beliefs or they feel out of context. And I think the way we've been working for you to be able to sell is actually have you sit in that element without moving or feeling those feelings.
Yes.
Right?
That's like, that is right at the crux of it, because I made this show because I find myself always moving away from asking for money. So in my marketing, I just want to inspire people and teach and have them knock on my door. And so I unconsciously move away from anything that would say, "Hey, do you want to buy this?"
Yeah.
And so I think probably why I was drawn to you is because it seems like you're out there doing, "Hey, do you want to buy this?" But you're doing it in a way that feels completely authentic and creative and interesting. And so
Yeah.
that to me gives me permission to kind of do it in the way that feels good to me.
Yeah, it's the same. Like we look at, especially in the field you're in, right? Like agency work and brand design and aesthetics, like all of that is more art than business from this lens in its own way. And for me, it's always going, how do we dive deeper rather than, do you want to buy this? I always lead with, I'm going to demonstrate. Here's what we're doing. Would you like to go deeper? And if the
Mm,
answer is yes, they deep dive rather than buy in that
mhm,
sort of way of expressing it.
mhm. So you're basically saying there is a path for you to go deeper in it, and you'll give me money for that. And there's like the top level is like, hey, this is free, and I've made a path for you to get more and more information and go deeper on this, and that part costs money.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a screen share button. I have this tiny little doodle here that would be able to represent this. I show this to a lot of people. I think we may have gone through this, but it's I call this proximity because proximity, the closer I get to you, right, the more of that 150K deal it becomes, but the further away. So we've got this little asset within your one-on-one or the done for you or the agency work. What you've been selling really, really well is this top tier up here. We're just going, let's say, is there an asset? Is there a tool, a resource, some sort of like design or Figma board or whatever it is you have? Can we go further away from you and sell that as an asset?
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
instead of
Uh-huh.
having the equation of, energy, the more energy you put, the more time, the more money,
Uh-huh.
we're just putting a little box around the word energy and time and
Uh-huh.
throwing
Uh-huh.
that asset in there so it makes you the money without your
Mhm.
physical energy.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Man, that is such a great insight and something that certainly did not know about at all until I met you. But one thing that like makes this make more sense to me is my mom was a teacher. At the end of her life, she had Alzheimer's. She had advanced Alzheimer's, right? She did not know my name at the end of her life, and she loved me like crazy, right? But she did not know my name, but she knew that she was a teacher. She
Ah,
knew that her identity was, "I am a teacher." Even when she didn't even know the name of her own son, right? And when I was young, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be like my mom. My mom was an amazing teacher. And what I've realized through all of this is that that's what I'm doing with my clients. I mean, we're doing work for them, and it's important that the output of the work is really good. But at the same time, so much of what I'm doing with clients is I'm showing up in meetings and I'm teaching them. And
mhm.
it's really important that I do that because they can't just survive on outputs. I
Yeah,
can't just give them stuff and have them be like, okay, that's now we're gonna, win, achieve our dreams, right? I have to help them with mindset and things that they
mhm.
need to learn. Well, if I'm helpful to them over time, that will continue to feed them, far into the future. And
Yeah, yeah.
essentially, that piece of it is teaching. And so, and then I have been doing top of funnel teaching. Here's my teaching for free. Then all the way down to like, here's my teaching for $100,000, right?
Hmm.
And I think this is opening up for me is like, there is a whole area of teaching that I could be doing that is in between 0 and $100,000 that people want to buy from me, but there's no way for them to buy it from me until now.
Yeah, like the first thing I remember looking into your business when we were chatting was like those those waves, right? And I'm going, we can plug these holes quite easily in here, or holes or dents or whatever we want to call them, the tides, right? When it's high, it's really high and feels really good. And then it's going, well, we can actually productize your wisdom and your knowledge and your teaching and go back, reverse engineer it, create those little instances of assets per se from things you've already done that are in your drive. We're just pointing people to them and continuing that story through the sales page, through the offer, and making them actually buy.
Right, exactly. So just to, I'm showing my screen now, and for those folks who are listening to this on Apple and can't see it, this is a graph of our revenue over the last over 2025, and it's our revenue on an accrual basis, and it shows that on 1 week our revenue was 112,000 in a week, right? In another week, our revenue was 18,000, right? That's like I don't know what that is, 7x or something like that. It's a, when when our revenue is 18,000 and I have a staff of, 6 or 7 people, I'm losing money those months.
Mhm.
And so this is kind of what you're referring to, is that this is the roller coaster of revenue that I'm on right now. And I'm trying to even out those low spots. Right.
Yeah.
And so this is essential. What you and I are doing is essential to my sanity. Right?
Yeah, like we're moving away from the ski slopes and into some more of like a surfing situation, changing the
Hopefully,
sport a little bit.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so do you want to tell me just briefly what you think we've achieved, what we've done here with my business? And then maybe we could talk about, you give me advice about what I need to do in the future.
Yeah. So over the last month or so, again, I like that you are visual because I'm finding all these awesome doodles here. This is super simple. What when you came, we were going leads to clients, and I was amazed at the numbers and all that you achieved. And basically, what we did is we added this little bit to the equation. Instead of lead to client, we took your wisdom and we went from lead to customer to client. Right? We just sort of created a little pit stop in between there, going, Josh is doing all of this. Can we take one little fragment, go backwards, and create this little asset, right? So the first thing we did was, if we look at this triangle and remember it, I call them small snacks and big snacks. When I present to my clients, we do these sort of workshops or like kickoff calls, onboarding calls, this, that. And I went, hold on a minute, tell me more about this. Or you told me you had some of those viral hits where a lot of these PDFs that you made and like breakdowns of the marketing that Figma does, Kajabi does, Uber does, whatever. I'm like, we can definitely workshop this and get like the 97% of your audience that is loving what you're doing but can't afford the 100K deals will be able to afford a workshop. So we you said I don't have a workshop replay, but I'm happy to do a workshop. So we took that asset, we created a workshop, and then we basically said this is now $200. So correct me if I'm wrong with the numbers, but basically we took that, we packaged it, we wrote a bunch of emails, and we engineered the funnel and all of that. And then for 1 hour of your time, we made 5 figures, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Forget the figures. Yes, we turned the ski slopes into surf waves, so those
Uh-huh.
dents sort of equalized. But you went, the way I made it was so fun, was so
Uh-huh.
easy, was so aligned with who I am.
Uh-huh.
And we
Uh-huh.
went, now, if we've just turned that ski slope into a wave, can we resell the replay? What other assets do you have? So,
Mhm.
strategy number one, adding the word customers in between leads and clients
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and monetizing the 97% of your audience that probably can't afford you
Mhm.
was the biggest step. And then going in Josh's land, bottom of funnel is, I'm going to do X amount of workshops every year.
Mhm.
If I can make 10 grand, for example, every time I do a workshop, that's an additional 120K
Uh-huh.
spread out throughout the year that I didn't have. for
Mhm.
12 hours of my time. High
Mhm.
leverage, lots of fun.
Mhm.
Then we looked at the potential of bundling workshops you've now already recorded through these months,
Mhm.
creating bundles to spread out even more revenue. Same equation, right? Instead of energy equals money, it's energy plus assets equals money.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Um, and then you went, I like this. What else can we do? So going back to the same equation that we spoke about, we said, if we're going to put a figure on it, great. We've now just taken this asset. What happens to these little onion layers? Onion layers? I don't know what they are. Shells? Seashells, if we're talking tides, to get to client territory. And we
Uh-huh.
spoke about running a cohort, maybe a one-to-one done with you type
Mhm.
thing. And you had loads of really good
For
ideas.
me, I think, I haven't figured out what's the magic between customer to client, but I think one thing that you've been teaching us is to do more just like 1 hour coaching calls. So that's
Yeah.
going to be one of the next things I do is because I feel that I will have a lot of higher ticket clients that just want to get an hour of my time. Like that, there will be a high demand for that if I price it at the right price point, and then I feel like that's going to create basically people saying, "Hey, we're interested in doing the full project with you."
Yeah, because the way that I had a thought before coming here today, you were like, we're going to brainstorm, so on and so forth. And I said, your best asset is you on a 1 hour call. Like I've done calls
Right.
with you too. You've done them for all your higher ticket clients. That first call is basically a game plan, just like you did
Uh-huh.
with me. You're like, this is what I do. And I went, boom. How do we
Uh-huh.
monetize that 1 hour where you can give away physical game plans with your little Super
Yeah.
Mario,
Yeah.
Princess Peach designs, all that cool stuff?
Mhm.
Now you get 4 of those a week, right? That's 16 of those, if my math is right, per month. Convert
Mhm.
one six-figure client out of those, right? Or
Mhm.
might be 5 or whatever. Again, we're adding to the revenue. And the idea I had is over time, instead of using your physical time, this is going to be SOP'd or processed, right? It's the same 5 to 10 questions, give or take 60 to 70% the same consultation with the 30 bit of customization per client. But the
Mhm.
premise of it can be SOP'd. We can create AI powered game plans that are clones of Josh,
Mhm.
right? That can do the game plans on your behalf and make that hop into, do you want done with you one on one?
Yes.
Or do you want done for you through Goldfront?
Here's a question for founders and CMOs. Can everyone on your leadership team describe what you do, who you serve, and why you're different? And can they do it using the same language? If not, you have momentum leak, and it's probably costing you deals, slowing your fundraising, and causing you to burn cash on marketing that doesn't land. This is the exact problem we fix at Goldfront. We have a 9-week sprint called Own Your Category that aligns executive teams around a single North Star narrative, including your category definition, your positioning, and a messaging system that drives everything you do from there, from sales and marketing to fundraising and product development. We've done this for over 200 companies now, from seed stage to mature category leaders like Uber, Stripe, and Qualtrics. So if the story that got you here is not the one that gets you to where you need to go, you can learn more about our strategy sprint at goldfront.com. I'm fine with a great deal of the digital products we're doing being for customers who are never going to ascend to the higher ticket thing, because it makes what I'm doing more accessible and it helps more people chase their dreams. And obviously I make money off of it as well. So like, I'm fine with that. I do really like this. It is really important that some of what I'm doing is a way for the higher ticket clients to become
Absolutely.
clients, right? And one thing I just want to talk about real quick. I don't want to get too emo here because you and I can go super emo, but like, but I think so much in terms of love and money, and that we just naturally want to sort of we have to like listen almost deeply about what's going to make us happy and also what's going to make us money. And it's easy to settle one for to go after one, but not the other, right?
Mhm.
If I just go for happiness, like then you could end up not getting paid for that, right? Where this is going is when I've done those, I did some one-on-one coaching that I did completely for free for you, Lachey Lewis, Caitlin Burgoyne, Sam Brown, just some of my internet friends, people that I meet on LinkedIn, and we start chatting. And in every situation, there was like a breakthrough
Yeah,
for the person that did the call with me. And my heart after that is like, I love this. I would
absolutely.
completely do this for free. I love to offer up some guidance and then see the
Mm,
person on the other side go, "Oh my God, I never thought of it that way."
yeah.
And it's something that is deep and hopefully, transformative. And so when I got done with the call with you or some of these other folks, my heart was saying, I got to have more of that. Right. But the other thing is, I'm also going, wait, I think that's actually a way to make really good money too, because if I could be doing this with founders of high flying startups, there's a lot of money for them to be made in that situation. And they are human beings who are chasing their dreams, which would make me
Absolutely.
happy to help them. Right.
Yeah.
So I just feel like there's a really important alchemy between those two things of, what does the heart say? And then, what also will make you money?
I mean, there's also the I was always told through my own journey that pricing tells a story of its own. So when we started talking today, those 100K tickets tell a story about the business that you run, the business that you're in, the vertical, and all of that. These ones, on the contrary, like when I ran them, we share a very similar trait in terms of like doing it for the love of the game, helping people, like the philosophical why behind all of it, where you can price it at a level where those high flying startups, maybe are paying 5K for a consultation with another consultant and you're charging 1K. So for you, the heart feels good. The strategy is life changing for them. But one thing that never changes in the cycle of like buying behavior is it's a triangle. You give someone a plan, you offer implementation, then you offer support. What you were doing is doing all of that as one service. We're just stripping down the triangle. You're pricing the plan at something that feels good and also changes lives. And then you're offering the implementation and the support at exactly the same price point.
Yeah.
The difference is it's where philosophy actually meets and transcends strategy at that top layer. And you're able to, as soon as someone has a game plan. I always thought of you remember like the SEO agencies back in the day would give you those reports and tell you your website sucks. You got to fix these things and you'll start ranking. And if you have the knowledge, you can pick that up and say thank you and go and fix your website. But the chances are you don't have that knowledge and you ascend to the bigger ticket. But that report, like you said with me or the other friend you had or whatever, is a life-changing report. And so many people don't monetize that. And when you actually look at that logistically, it can add upwards of multi six figures to your business. Because that's like the gem you've always saved for the first meeting of that high ticket client.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you were saying that when you look back at your numbers and where money was coming from, a lot of your higher ticket revenue sales were coming originally from just a 1 hour of coaching that you had sold
and they
somebody.
still do. People in my world would question why it was that cheap.
Because I was thinking I would make mine less expensive. Like I have an hour that I haven't really sold very much, and it's $700. But I was thinking I would make mine, $400 because it's now I'm realizing, oh, that's a path for somebody to hire us for something more expensive. So I should make the hour less expensive.
Yeah, and it's also a volume thing and a heart thing because you filter the people who don't want to commit. The committed will pay, and then the ascension works itself. Like conversion wise, it's 10% that you need. but you're
Mm-hmm.
getting paid to convert that 10%.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
a nice game.
Okay, I want to just share one thing real quick so people can see the nuts and bolts of this. This is a document that I use and we've been using together, and it shows different products that we're creating, right? So we have a strategy cohort here. We have the mic drop POV workshop. We're working on another workshop. We have our client offer, 2 months of strategy. And each of these is something I'm going to offer. And then for each um, for each thing that we're going to offer, I have a strategy page where I can just write down, oh, here's what I'm thinking this product is going to be.
Mhm.
I'll also write the sales page, and we've been just using Google Docs so far, which is really nice to just keep it very simple. Didn't have to make a website or anything.
Mhm.
And then here's all the campaign copy, and this is all the emails and LinkedIn posts that we do um, to um, to let people know what it is and sell the cohort. So this has been really helpful for me just to keep everything organized, and I can send it to you, and you can give me feedback. And
Yeah, it's actually I like that you've shown this because it visualizes the little onion layer of my doodle in actual real time. So all of those are leverage points for actually revenue points because you get to decide. I feel like a 4-week cohort sounds good. It feels good.
Mhm,
Then that can have a backwards retainer if you wanted to, where you offer more support. And then we work with back end revenue to go back to those slopes and work
mhm,
that out. Or
mhm,
workshops can have continuity. Like after a workshop, they could be upsold into a 4-week cohort or
mhm,
little community sort of support
mhm,
group thing. There's
mhm,
so many different verticals we can take that, but the thing I realized with your industry too is people are really busy and the cycles are shorter and they want to get the support and the outcome in a more clear defined container.
mhm.
So same is true with corporate. Like when you go to a corporate event, it's like a 1-day thing or a 2-day thing, and then they implement.
Uh-huh.
It was really
Yeah.
fun to see how we spread out those revenue points in the pie chart throughout the
Yeah.
year. But
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah, yeah, I feel very grateful for all the instruction that you've given me, all the insights. Okay, so we're talking about me hiring you to do kind of a done for you email writing service, right? Where you'll draft campaigns for me, then I get to jump in and give feedback or make my own edits to it. And I would really never ever think about doing this with anyone except for you're such a good writer, and I also wear kind of simpatico. So
Yes.
yeah. Um, so my question to you is, you tell me, what do I need to do to make more money, since that's what the show is about, over the next few months? Like, what do I need to work on? What do we need to change? Like, is there any critical stuff where you're like, we gotta,
Mhm.
this has got to be fixed, or this is our opportunity ahead of us?
Yeah, I think if we were if in a alternate universe, if we had like gaming handles and we were into some PS5 game thing, our handles would be called like the Lord of Leverage or something like that.
Mm,
Where I would look at everything we've spoken about today and go, how do we maximize leverage points for you in what we've just demonstrated? So in those campaigns, we get a high level bird's eye view. How many workshops do we want? Let's say 12 in a year, one a month. What is the anticipated revenue? And then I would look to go, that is a low ticket offer, right? 100 to $200 per
mhm,
workshop. I would then stack continuity at each of these intervals and challenge you to say, let's discover continuity. So it's a sprint, it's a cohort, it's one on one support, it's something Gold Front related, Josh related, that has less time and more high touch consulting as a back burner to that. Because right now, we had a lot of fun doing the workshops and then
uh-huh,
revenue again goes up and down. So we're
uh-huh,
adding without MRR, task two, add MRR.
mhm, mhm.
Number two,
Wait, what do you mean
you're
by continuity? What?
so
I mean, I know what that
working
word means, but
a retainer. So it's great making 10K from a workshop, but that means we're doing it once.
I see.
If we can stack 10K to your business every single month, we're
Uh-huh.
compounding. And the
Okay.
way that I've thought about it is we would look at your hours and go, for example, having access to you on WhatsApp is really precious if I'm somebody looking for those services that
I see.
can't quite afford the 100K,
I
but
see. I
I'm
see. I
willing
see.
to give you 30K in a year
Uh-huh.
to have you in my corner. Sort
Uh-huh.
of a
Uh-huh.
mentor advisor, for that realm.
Uh-huh.
So getting you 4 or 5 of these high touch blocks of 20 to 30K a year, we're now
Mm.
adding, to those waves or the slopes, and we're
I see.
reaching a level of
Okay, so
equilibrium.
like, so in that, just one example would be like, hey, I'll be your advisor. I'll be your strategy and brand advisor. It's 2K a month. You're going to get access to me on WhatsApp. Send me your
Yeah.
stuff. I'll give you my feedback, and I'll help you. I'll walk you through how to implement what I do.
Yeah. And we get a bi-weekly call, for example,
Okay. All right. Cool.
for
I
half an
like it.
hour.
All right.
So that's one way. We're looking at sort of the 100K ballpark with 3 or 4
Mhm.
people, light touch. Then out of all of those things,
Is that crazy making for me? I got to keep checking WhatsApp and talking to people. Like,
you set the rules. I mean, you see how we communicate,
yes,
right? Like when
yes.
there's something to be done, it's can you review this? Can you review that? And we work
Uh-huh.
in a document. It's very project-like in a way
Mhm.
because we have a
Uh-huh.
goal.
Mhm.
Um, you get to set the boundaries to, like, I respond within 3 days. It's like an
Mhm.
email.
Mhm.
Uh, the other side of that backwards, if you do have interest, which it seems like you do, is these cohorts are sprints for 4 weeks, but some people
Mhm.
might not finish in those
Mhm.
4 weeks.
Mhm.
So we might extend that into like a yearly or a 6 month sort of community feel for
Uh-huh.
people who need that extra space.
Uh-huh.
Um,
How do you start a
to
community if you only have like 8 people that are interested in that?
It's a
Like,
community of 8.
I see. Okay. Yeah. In some ways,
uh,
people might be more engaged, right? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, when I was first doing it, it was a Slack community. It wasn't school or circle or any of that. It was very
Mhm.
agency like. Put you guys in a
Mhm.
Slack group and we chat
I
together.
personally think I would way rather Slack than
Yeah,
school, but
yeah. That's how I was doing it. And you can't DM me personally, but this is sort of our announcements board and whatever
uh-huh.
for a long
Uh-huh.
time.
Cool.
And then the last component to hone in on that leverage handle is all these once-off things can become evergreen funnels.
Mhm.
So your workshops, the once-off ones could become bundles where somebody opts into your email list right now. You write amazingly, but you don't make an offer on the way in.
Uh-huh.
Right? That workshop we did can become a
Uh-huh.
front-end product. That,
Uh-huh.
if we remember our little doodle, small snack to bigger snack, can have an upsell. So if my workshop replay is $100 and then I've got an upsell, which is another $100, the average order value of that customer who's not a client is now
Mhm.
200.
Mhm. Mhm.
You
Okay.
know?
Hey, there's before we wrap up, I want to ask you about one thing, leverage,
Yeah.
because I think that's such an important idea, and I'm not sure the audience will totally get it yet, but like, here's how I'm thinking about leverage: is as a owner of a business, you you have all these ideas, right? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then when you start to get into that new thing that you're gonna do, and maybe have 2 or 3 other things going at the same time, you put all of your energy into it because this is your baby, right? Okay, I'm gonna build this little world over here, then people are gonna buy it, and it's gonna work like this, and like I'm gonna be so successful if this works out. And I think what most of us do is we overbuild and we overextend ourselves, building up these little, crystalline cities, right? Um, and I think when you use the word leverage, what you're saying is you need to look at everything that's going on and think about what is going to, for the amount of time you invest in it, what is going to give you the most happiness and money back.
Yes, exactly. So
Right.
it's actually reusing what you've already created. So that idea is somewhere like the drive you just shared now with the Google Doc, like that workshop. That what was the name of the workshop? And
Mic drop
yeah, mic
POV
drop.
workshop.
So
Yeah.
that probably changed some people's lives. You had such an amazing time. I remember you telling me how surreal it was and all of that.
Uh-huh.
Where does that one Zoom recording can now be put on the front end over the next 3 years and
Uh-huh.
feed people, like
Uh-huh.
change
Yes.
people's lives, extract all the leverage from that one singular recording
Right.
and see
Yes.
how far you
And
take.
that's one thing. But also another thing is I can hear myself in meetings with clients with a leadership team of a company that's 1,000 people. And I'm trying to teach them these ideas of, okay, how does a POV work, and where do we need to go with yours? And then I go into the workshop and I can hear myself saying the same lessons.
Mhm.
And then in the workshop, I'm creating new lessons to get the point across. Oh, I haven't quite articulated this the right way. Then in my client meeting, I'm using that thing that I just said, I learned how to say in the workshop with clients, and they're getting it more. And so not only is there leverage in terms of the form factor, like, well, we made this workshop and now we can sell it as a on-demand thing anytime we want while I'm in Fiji or whatever, but also cognitively, I'm I'm going over the same area over and over again in these different places, and one area is making the other area stronger.
Yeah, it's like an instrument, right? The more you
Yeah,
play the scale, the better it sounds. But
yeah,
yeah, I didn't think of it that way. It's actually a really nice way to express it. And you can have the workshop is one medium. You can write it, you can transcribe
uh-huh,
it, you can make a short, write a newsletter about it, and the
uh-huh,
idea spreads like wildfire
yeah.
that way.
Now I know this. We got to wrap this up, but like I know this show is supposed to be about money, but I want to go to the ultimate kind of emo place with you. Is I think that what we're really trying to do is show up as the same human being everywhere we are, and somehow by some magic make a living being the person that we are. And I don't want it to sound too, touchy feely, but like there's such an unlock in that when it's like I don't have to be somebody different in all these different situations, and I can actually get paid for that. I'm not just being whoever I am, and it doesn't really make me any money. So there's just like, I think there's just such value in that being able to just be whoever I am in any kind of situation. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of people come my way, go like, "Why do you talk about this all the time?" Or "I'm scared to say that I have a hobby in blah," or "I have an interest in." I'm like, "That's what makes you you. Otherwise,
Uh-huh.
you're just another consultant, another agency, or another like." There's so
Mhm.
many of us, but there's only one of you, unique by
Mhm.
DNA. But so if you express yourself with the ahs and the oohs and your sniffles and your,
Yeah.
whatever it
Yeah.
is you have, and be as close to that offline avatar online, I think that's the
Mhm.
magical place that so
Yeah.
many people wear a mask and try to avoid out of fear or doubt or whatever. But
Right. And
that,
it's so crazy making, and it takes so much energy to switch those masks constantly.
yeah, yeah, because you almost teach yourself out of yourself. Like you
Mhm.
write yourself out of reality, and it's like I'm putting on a show when I don't need to. I can wear my pajamas and show up as me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's good. Okay, that's a good note to end on. So, Jacob, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. I look forward to continuing to work with you and hopefully making more money.
yeah, hope that was useful and gave you some ideas. And excited to roll over.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.